This is Dave Jackson with CaveSim, and I'd like to tell you about the exciting things that are happening at CaveSim during this challenging time with COVID-19. So first of all, what is CaveSim? Well, you may have seen it at the NSS convention. It has attended convention every year since 2011, and it contains 60 feet of multi-level passage inside of a big enclosed silver trailer. The new cave that we're building has 70 feet of passage. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. CaveSim contains 50 plus formations with electronic sensors behind each formation, and those sensors and an advanced computer scoring system track your careful caving score. The system was invented by me, and I created the entire thing. My wife and I operate it as CaveSim LLC. So as I mentioned, you get a score based on how careful you are. If you bump into the stalactites or the stalagmites, which obviously you don't want to do, you'll hear a beeping sound and you'll have points taken away from your score. If you get too close to the helictites, the gypsum flowers, or other fragile formations, you'll hear a beeping sound and sometimes a recorded message with conservation information. We also have artifacts and cave life. Obviously everything is artificial, but there are electronic sensors behind these objects to show you how careful you need to be when you're exploring a real cave. I have a few pictures here of CaveSim in action. We do, in addition to going to convention, we do a lot of programs at schools, museums, and parks. This girl is at a show cave event, and take a look at the expression on her face. She's obviously having just a wonderful, joyous time, and this is important. We'll talk about why this is important in a little bit. These kids are looking at the computer scoring system, which contains night vision cameras and other fun things to get kids engaged and excited. These kids are at Cumberland Gap National Historical Park in Kentucky. This is a picture of the outside of CaveSim at a school program in northern Colorado. And as I mentioned, my wife and I run CaveSim. My wife, Tracy Jackson, is a science teacher. She has an undergraduate degree in geology, and she also has a master's in education. She writes all of our curriculum for our standards-aligned CaveSim programs. I am the inventor, and I have several degrees from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in electrical engineering and computer science, and I serve as CaveSim's lead educator. Tracy and I are also both members of the Southern Colorado Mountain Grotto. So who is CaveSim for? Well, many adults, both cavers and non-cavers, have explored CaveSim. This gentleman here, his first experience with caving was in CaveSim, and then he went on to do quite a few trips with me and other members of my grotto. CaveSim is also for kids who have disabilities. So this girl here doesn't have very good use of her legs, and yet she really enjoyed exploring CaveSim multiple times. You can see from her expression that she really feels a great, strong sense of accomplishment. And many kids who normally use wheelchairs have explored CaveSim. They get down out of their wheelchairs and they crawl through the cave just like any other kid would do. And so just because they have to crawl, they're not any different than any other kid. And so it's a leveling activity, right? Everybody gets to do the cave the same way. CaveSim, in short, is for everyone. It's for people of all ages, all ability levels, for cavers, for non-cavers. One of the things that you may wonder is, where does CaveSim go? So of course you might see us at convention, but we do lots of programs for schools. We've worked with 77 schools so far, and we work at all grade levels. That may not sound like a lot of schools, but keep in mind that we often go back to the same school year after year. We do programs at museums, show caves, state and national parks, and all kinds of public events, and we have done programs in 18 states since 2010. One of the things that you may wonder is, why does CaveSim exist? Well, our mission is to teach kids and adults of all ages to love caves, science, conservation, and exploration, and we have taught over 25,000 non-cavers since 2010. CaveSim is much more than a mobile cave. So as you know, schools follow education standards, and we align our programs with education standards so that we are allowed to do our programs in schools. So we teach science, history, math, art, and other subjects, all while teaching kids about caves, cave science, and conservation. CaveSim programs teach a lot of things. One of the things we teach is geochemistry. Here I am putting acid on some different kinds of rocks for some students. These are kids from the inner city of Austin, Texas, and they are in an after-school program, and they're learning about the chemistry of caves. They live on karst, and so it's important for these kids to learn about karst conservation. We also teach math. These kids are at that same program with an instructor showing them how to use a tape measure, and they are doing addition and subtraction of fractions as they enjoy the CaveSim squeeze box. We also teach kids about physics using our 12-foot vertical caving tower. Here's another picture of that tower, and the kids are learning about pulleys, friction, mechanical advantage, simple machines, and all, of course, while learning about vertical cave exploration. We also teach kids about chemistry using carbide lamps. During COVID, we've been doing our programs online, and sometimes we'll do recordings as well. And this video that I'm about to show you is from a recorded program about the chemistry of carbide. We're going to be doing some experiments with homemade carbide lamps. This lamp here obviously was made in a factory, but these I made to teach you about the chemistry of carbide reactions. So inside this lamp we have a test tube, and we're going to put some carbide in the bottom of the container, and we're going to put some water in the test tube. We won't allow these to mix until we have the lid on tightly. My valve on the light is closed. Here I am putting some water in the test tube. This is just regular drinking water, and we're going to put the test tube carefully in the bottle. You'll notice that there's nothing happening to the carbide. The carbide is just sitting in the bottom there, and we're going to get a mass. So first of all, we have zeroed our scale. That's called tearing the scale. We see 216 grams. The wind causes a little bit of fluctuation. Now I'm going to tip the water, and you'll see a lot of bubbling. Notice that we're still at 216.3, and so we have not changed the mass. Now we're letting some gas out. You'll notice that as I let gas out, the mass is going to drop. So now we're at 215.8, 215.7, 0.6. Mass is conserved when we mix two things together. So we took carbide and water and we mixed them together and we produced acetylene gas, but we didn't actually destroy any matter, even though we produced this gas. Now that we're letting the gas out, the mass has dropped considerably. We've lost a full gram because the gas inside actually has mass. The flame gets smaller over time because the pressure inside the container is reducing as the gas is released. The reason there was pressure in the container. So we'll go ahead and stop that there. We also teach kids about biology. As you can see in the upper left corner of this slide, we teach kids about both macro and microbiology. These are high school students in Oklahoma who are doing experiments with petri dishes and slime mold to learn about cave microbiology. In the lower left corner, you can see a girl who is learning to solder. We have a program that's all about engineering, and the kids can make their own waterproof caving flashlights from recyclable materials, all while learning about circuits and engineering principles. In the lower right corner, you can see some kids using a skid, and we have programs that are all about teamwork and communication. And then in the upper right corner, we have a little video that I'll show you. It's short, and it will show you how we use the prusik knot to teach kids about friction. I'm going to tie a special knot onto this rope.
Oh yeah, pinted knot.
This is called a prusik, and we are going to tie a prusik on here, and I'm going to trade jobs with you. So what I want you to do is I want you to pull on the black harder, 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 pull. Okay, let go. Now take your fingers and put them under the knot and slide the knot up the rope. Push the knot up the rope, or down, either way. Yeah, push it up. Whoa, okay, now stop. Now go ahead and pull down on the black again, just the black. Pull harder, harder. Wow, so when she pulls on this rope, what is there a lot of? There's a lot of friction. And when she doesn't pull on this, what happens to the amount of friction?
It can go down.
It gets reduced, that's right. And so the knot can go up and down. You want to try pulling on here, on the black?
both ones. Pull. Whoa, awesome. Now let go and push the knot down the rope. Whoa, so this is how we can use friction as our friend to climb up and look up again, to go up home to the surface of the earth.
All right, so one of the things you may wonder is, so what? Why do CaveSim educational programs matter? Well, we're actually trying to solve quite a few problems with CaveSim. One of the things that we see is that humans can act as advocates for the protection of caves, but people only protect what they care about, and they only care about what they understand. So CaveSim makes caves fun and really easy for kids to understand so that they can go and talk with people in their family and people in their community about the importance of cave conservation. Our goal is to build a generation of cave conservation advocates. Another problem that we're trying to solve is a distrust of science, and we know that we need science to solve all sorts of problems in everyday life, in medicine, in environmental conservation, and science is something that if it's made fun, then people are not as intimidated by it. And since CaveSim makes science irresistibly fun, we are using it to build a generation of scientists. The other thing that we're trying to do is to help kids to learn about a physical activity that they can enjoy. So of course schools offer a lot of physical activities, but many of them are competitive sports. And we know that not everybody enjoys competitive sports. So we're showing kids the sport of caving, something that they can do for the rest of their lives that is beneficial to them. And we're really trying to build a generation of kids that enjoy moving. The other thing we're trying to do is to bring new members to the NSS. So we introduce thousands of kids to caving everywhere that we go, and we talk with them about their local caving clubs, their local grottos, and we're trying to build a generation of cavers. So in summary, education of children is key to solving many problems, and we are constantly working hard to educate children all over the United States. COVID has been a major setback, and we're not doing in-person programs. We have had to lay off staff, but we are working harder than ever. And there are a whole bunch of things that we are doing during this challenging time, and I want to talk to you about each of those things. First, we're doing live online programs. This is a little bit of a snippet from one of those programs, but basically we use Zoom or WebEx or any other platform to work with students, whether they're in the classroom or at home, or sometimes there are some students in the class and some at home, and we will work with them. We'll do demonstrations and we have them do simple labs. If you know any teachers who would benefit from live online programs, please point them to cavesim.com/distance-learning, where they can learn more about what we do.
Hey there, it's Dave Jackson with CaveSim. I just finished a really awesome online lesson for an entire class of students at Queen Palmer Elementary School in Colorado Springs, and these kids are really impressive. I've got to tell you, we did a fairly complicated experiment. They found materials at home. When they couldn't find one material, they substituted another material, and they had a lot of determination. It took them a while, but they showed determination and perseverance, and they finished their experiments. And that's one of the things I want to share with you guys today, is that I hope you also, in this challenging time, will show determination and perseverance and do some challenging things that maybe you couldn't otherwise do. So check out little snippets from our session. Shante, do you want to tell me how you're doing? Oh, and there's Janaya. Shante and Janaya, you want to give me, Janaya, you want to give me a thumbs up? Shante, that's great. You want to give me a thumbs up or thumbs down with how you're doing? Deontay, did you say that you don't have sand? Yeah. Let me ask you this, Deontay, do you live in a place where there's a little bit of dirt outside? Like, are there some bushes? Okay, I think he's going to get some dirt.
I found dirt.
You found dirt. I'm so proud of you. Victor, I love it. What you did is great, Victor. Yes, that you are 100% on track. Yes, good job, Samantha. Ooh, look, there's a sinkhole forming.
What is that doing that to me?
Oh, well, you just have to wait patiently. That's one of the virtues in life, is waiting patiently. Samantha, do you have your hand up?
I think I did mine wrong.
You did yours wrong? Why don't you tip
Okay.
your screen and let me see. Oh, yours is perfect. Why do you say it's wrong? It's great. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. You made a vertical cave. This is how vertical caves form. They collapse like that. This is science. What that means is not everybody's experiment is going to work out the same way. I gotta give you guys a compliment. You guys all, number one, you're super patient and you stuck with it. Number two, you followed directions. Number three, you asked good questions and you asked for help when you got stuck. So that's 4 really big compliments that I want to give all of you guys. And the other day we talked about determination. And so the deal is that you guys showed determination today in working on your project, and I showed determination when I built the cave. So if you guys think that it's kind of cool to build stuff, you are getting ready, doing what you're doing now, you're getting ready, showing determination, you're getting ready to do cool things when you grow up. Okay, so keep giving everything your good determination. Keep giving all your work your good determination.
So guys, we'll be here again tomorrow.
We're also doing interviews with amazing cavers. We are putting these on the CaveSim Facebook page. You can find all of these there. And I want to talk briefly about each one that we've done and just show you just a few seconds from the different interviews. The first one in this upper left corner is Zachary Pennebaker. Zach is a visually impaired caver from Texas, and he is on the Austin, Texas cave digging team, where they are clearing out caves that were filled in years ago by ranchers. And I have dug alongside Zach, and I have to tell you, he's an incredible, incredible person. Let's hear what he has to say about his visual impairment.
You've talked to me about your vision in the past, but I'm wondering if you can describe it, maybe by, giving some examples of what you can see and what you can't see.
So my vision's pretty bad. I have a degenerative corneal disease called keratoconus that makes everything really blurry. And in my right eye is completely blind. My left eye's had some surgery, so I have some remaining eyesight up to about... It started out pretty good after my surgeries when I was a little kid, but then over time the disease takes back over and it slowly got worse and worse and worse. My field of vision as of now, it probably extends maybe a few inches from my face, not too far, but if I have like bold print, it's large enough font, I can get it up close to my face and see it, so I can operate my cell phone. And I can see light just perfectly fine.
We also interviewed Jim Funk in the upper right corner. He is a caver, a rock climber, and a naturalist, and he also happens to have cerebral palsy. The interview that we did with him is really inspiring, and I just wanted to have him briefly tell you about his cerebral palsy.
My arm is physically the same as yours, but the communication between my brain and my wrist basically doesn't work.
And then in the lower left corner, you can see an interview that we did with Donna Frazier. Donna is a caver in my grotto, and she also does bat rehab.
One I'm particularly proud of was a bat that was caught in a glue trap. I'd never done it before. A bat was plastered to a flat cardboard glue trap that was put out probably for mice and insects. Unfortunately, this little bat got caught in it.
We also have an interview that's really fantastic with Bree Jameson and Mio Spiker talking about diversity within the NSS. All of these interviews are on the CaveSim Facebook page. If you just go on Facebook and you type in CaveSim, you'll find us. And then you can also get these at cavesim.com/distance-learning. We have an exciting new partnership with the Cave Research Foundation. They have established a new restricted fund that is designed to allow organizations, individuals, grottos, businesses to make tax-deductible contributions to support schools in having CaveSim come to them for schools around the country that can't afford to have our programs. And this is an exciting new development, a new partnership. We are also building a new CaveSim trailer. So we're building a system that's more realistic, has more passage, and has an improved scoring system. And the reason we're doing this is not to replace the existing trailer, but we've had so much demand for our school programs that we know that we'll be able to use 2 trailers simultaneously after COVID. And we know that because just prior to COVID, we did 33 days of CaveSim program in just a 6-week period. For some perspective, we in the last year we did 79 days in the entire year, and for the first 6 months of this year we were scheduled to do about that many programs. So we were on track to double the number of programs. And we know that with 2 trailers traveling together to the same city, we can have a far bigger impact. So we'll have 1 trailer at one school and another trailer at another school, and 2 teams working together. We've had 2 teams in the past, but obviously we didn't have 2 trailers. So, we know how to do this logistically. We have completed 85% of the new cave, and now we just need a new trailer to complete the rest, and we need your help to do that. The reason we need your help is that we've invested heavily in the materials to build the new CaveSim system, and we've employed several cavers to help with construction, but the trailer is really expensive. It will last a long time, but we need help from sponsors, from individuals, grottos, businesses, to help us buy the trailer, and I would love to have your help in doing this. This is a brief rundown of the budget for the trailer. It is an all aluminum enclosed trailer as opposed to a steel trailer, and we're doing that because it's lighter, and so it's more fuel efficient, and it's also safer. It has a shorter stopping distance because it's less heavy, and we have to outfit it with things like heat and air conditioning and electric jacks and things like that. And so this is a big project. We have raised thus far about 10% of our goal, and we'd love to have support from you or from your grotto. And there are a lot of reasons to do that. Probably the most important reason for you to support this is gratitude from tens of thousands of kids around the United States. So as I said, we've worked with over 25,000 non-cavers since 2010, and that our rate of working with people has really gone up. So for example, last year we worked with 8,000 kids, and in just the first part of this year we worked with 3,600 kids. So we're working with a lot more people, and we have set up a series of different sponsorship tiers, different levels of recognition based upon the support that grottos and individuals and businesses give us. And one of the things that's neat is that if your grotto provides some funding and you match that, then that combined will count towards these levels. There are a bunch of ways that you can support this project. You can write a check to CaveSim and send it to us at this address. This is the lowest overhead. There's no overhead, there's no credit card fees. And if you want to use a card for convenience, you can do that at cavesim.com/sponsor. There's the standard 3% credit card fee when you do that. And then you can also support us through PayPal. And if you go just person to person, then there's not a fee for doing that. The Cave Research Foundation is another great avenue if you need to be providing funds to 501c3, and you can contact me or Bob Hoke about that. We've touched on a bunch of these questions. As I mentioned, we are not retiring the existing trailer. We expect to have the new trailer completed sometime in 2021, but there is a long lead time on the trailer manufacturing, and so we'd love to have the funds sooner rather than later so we can get back on the road when we get past COVID. And then we do know that schools will have us back after COVID because all the teachers that we work with are really enthusiastic about having us back. The kids want to have a sense of normal, and so they really want to return to the in-person programs that they love that we do. We're also going to be doing a Kickstarter campaign, a crowdfunding campaign, like we did for the first trailer to raise funds, and we will be launching that Kickstarter campaign in the first part of next year. I do have some pictures of the new cave. This is a middle school student that is in our new expanded internship program. And so with COVID, kids can't do their normal activities, and so we have expanded our internship program. We have several middle school students. They come one at a time, and they learn about cave construction, and then they also learn about the operation of a small organization like CaveSim. And we have high school students who help us as well. This student here is learning about using a circular saw, and we have some new videos that tell our story as well. So we have a video about our in-person programs, and that's at cavesim.com. And then we also have a video that explains our online programs at cavesim.com/distance-learning. If you come to Colorado Springs or the Colorado area, I really encourage you to visit us. We have a cave system that we constructed under the floor of a climbing gym, and it's much more extensive than the CaveSim trailer that you've seen. We have a 40-foot pit entrance that we built into that cave system, and we have camps that we run. So this child here is learning about frogs. These are not caving kids, these are just kids, and he's learning how to frog up 40 feet, and he happens to be waving at another child who's looking in through a plexiglass window. So in summary, I hope that you will help us to support the work that we're doing around the country to teach kids about science and conservation and exploration. And we'd love to have your support with the new trailer. And I'd also love to get connected with any teachers that you know. We're offering free programs for schools in need. These are live online programs, and I'd love to get connected with you about that. You can email me at dave@cavesim.com, and I hope that you stay well during these challenging times.